What up guys, it's Kirtan Singh here, and I'm back with a brand new video. Today I'm starting my new series, Let's Analyze. In this series I'll be breaking down a scene or sequences from a film or series and explaining why certain choices were made when creating the scene, and what the director or writer were possibly thinking. This is all my own opinion and understanding of the film itself, so take it all with a pinch of salt. The directors may have chosen a different reason for making certain choices, it's just how I interpret it as a filmmaker. These videos will work with me dissecting what's happening on screen with the footage itself being played. So right now I have my laptop here with me, and in post-production I'll put what's happening on my laptop onto the screen itself so you guys can see what's happening. I'll also make annotations here and there on screen so you guys can notice what I'm noticing and focus on the areas where I'd like you to focus. This is the first time I'm doing this, obviously, so if you have any suggestions or any ideas of how I can improve, please let me know in the comment section down below. Today, for my first video, I'll be examining the opening sequence to Paul Thomas Anderson's film, There Will Be Blood. The opening sequence to There Will Be Blood is an amazing scene. In my opinion, it's the best scene in this film itself, and this film overall is an amazing film. The opening sequence does a great job at really enticing you into the story which is going to be explored. It also foreshadows what happens and hints at certain plot points which will be explored later in the film. And don't worry, if you haven't seen the film yet, I'm going to be doing my best to avoid spoilers, so you can watch this video and then go and watch the film itself. So let's get started. The film starts off with the title There Will Be Blood, followed by the strings instruments that come into play. These give a real horror and thriller kind of vibe with the way they're played, in some sort of detuned manner, playing these long notes which really create an eerie sort of feeling. With the appearance of the mountains on screen, we come to know where this film is located, and we also feel like the music is louder than it was before, because it feels like it's echoing throughout the mountains. This does a great job at making the viewer, the audience, feel uneasy and not sure of what to expect in the upcoming film. From the establishing shot, we cut to an opposite environment, the inside of a mine. This enclosed environment further makes us feel off. From the thrilling strings to this wide landscape to a sudden enclosed mine shaft, it really creates a sort of environment which you do not want to be in. But we see this one man working hard by himself, picking away at the wall, looking for some sort of mineral which can bring him money and hence success. We see him working hard, and we do so for a few seconds on screen, and we see him working alone. We then get this cool religious imagery as he looks up and we see the moonlight striking his face. This evokes that image of God's sunshine, his rays of light shining upon someone who is being blessed. In this case, it's Daniel, and the moonlight also establishes the time of day, which is nighttime. This contrasts the opening establishing shot which showed a daytime landscape and shows us how long he's been working out here for. Nighttime. And we see him, the open landscape, once again contrasting the mine shaft itself. We see the wind blowing against the rags he wears and the tent that is there, and we see him huddling close with a fire, trying to keep himself warm. This creates empathy for the character, as we see him as a man working by himself, presumably to make ends meet. We see him go from one harsh environment of the enclosed mine to a windy and barren environment of the outside world. We then cut back to him working in the mine in the next day. This short break is meant to make us believe that he is constantly working, that he gets very little time for rest. We then see him find a mineral which is worth something, and he uses dynamite to get more. This symbolizes his explosive nature, which we will see later in the film. It's also established how he's not a person who just wants the minimal amounts which he can find. He wants more and more, reflecting upon his need for success. His desire not to just have what he's given and accept it, but his desire to strive for greater things. However, up until this point, we don't view that as a bad thing. In fact, it is an admirable trait for this man to have, considering he is working so hard. We then see him exit the mineshaft and we see that it is daytime. This is a contrasting image to the nighttime that we saw earlier, and now that we see Daniel in daytime, we're meant to think of it as a more positive image, especially coming off the fact that he found some minerals. He's also smiling. You may not notice it the first time you're watching, but he's smiling as he exits the mine itself, happy with what he's found, and happy that he's going to cultivate more. Obviously, he continues to work hard, pulling on the rope, trying to bring up his belongings. He does struggle, however, showing how he may not be able to do everything by himself, even though he tries. You notice that the smile he had as exiting the mineshaft is now gone, and the director purposely had a close-up shot of him to show the stress which he is feeling right now. And then we see his belongings get caught up in the explosion. We then see him go back into the mineshaft, hesitant at first, and we know why, because the ladder is broken and he falls down. Once again, we feel sorry for this man. He's gone through so much already, and when it looks like he's going to be happy, when he looks like he's going to gain success, something goes wrong and he gets injured himself. The acting here is amazing. Daniel Day-Lewis does a great job throughout the whole film, but here is just superb. It elevates the film even more. It elevates the sequence even more. You feel so sorry for this man through all that he's been through everything that he's struggled. But there's hope. We see him pick up a rock of the mineral which he knows he can sell. And through sheer determination, we see him put himself through so much pain just to get out and sell that mineral. Here, our character is established to be hardworking even more, putting himself through any sort of pain. There's nothing that's going to stop him to reach the success that he wants. He's willing to drag himself all across the dirt on these sharp rocks just to make ends meet. This opening scene does an amazing job at establishing a character who we believe we should root for, who we believe is a hard-working man that deserves all of this glory, all of this success, because he strives so much to succeed. But no matter what, he gets caught up in his own endeavors. As reflected in this opening scene and as shown later on in the film, more and more he strives for success, the more and more he's going to get caught up in his own problems. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section down below on your thoughts about this video and the film itself. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Check me out on my social media accounts with the links in the description down below or on the side here. And check out my previous video. I'll catch you guys next time.